When we think of beauty standards, we often imagine glossy magazines and ever-shifting trends, but the desire to define what is beautiful is as old as humanity itself. In the Stone Age, long before mirrors or makeup, men and women had their own ideas of attractiveness, ideas shaped by survival, fertility, and the realities of daily life. What did Stone Age men actually want? What did they find beautiful, and why? To answer this, we need to look at archaeological finds, ancient art, anthropology, genetics, and the logic of evolution. The Stone Age covers a vast period from roughly 2.6 million years ago to about 12,000 years ago. This era includes the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, and Neolithic periods, and spans all continents where humans lived. The people of the Stone Age were not a single group with a single culture, but their lives were shaped by similar needs: survival, reproduction, and social cohesion. Their standards of beauty, especially for women, reflected these needs. Beyond the body, adornment and expression. But beauty in the Stone Age was not just about body shape. Archaeological finds show that Stone Age people cared about adornment and appearance. They made jewelry from shells, animal teeth, bones, and stones. Some wore necklaces, bracelets, and even decorative headbands. Beads and pendants have been found in graves, often buried with women and children. These ornaments had no practical use. They were purely for display, suggesting that looking attractive was important, even in the harshest times. Body painting and tattooing were also part of Stone Age beauty. Remains of ochre, charcoal, and other natural pigments have been found at many sites, along with tools for grinding and applying them. People painted their bodies for rituals, celebrations, and possibly to attract mates. Some researchers believe that certain patterns or colors had special meanings, perhaps signaling status, fertility, or readiness for marriage. Clothing, too, played a role in beauty standards. Reconstructions of Stone Age garments show that people wore carefully made clothes from animal hides, furs, and plant fibers. Women's clothing could be decorated with beads, shells, or fringes. In colder climates, clothing was practical, but also a canvas for personal expression. Some Stone Age women wore elaborate hats, turbans, or even crowns, as seen in figurines and burial finds. Sometimes people see substance in hair as burial finds, and we see the same thing in medicine sketches and RP. Hair was another important feature. Evidence from preserved remains and figurines suggests that Stone Age women wore their hair in buns, braids, or loose waves. In some cultures, long, shiny hair was a sign of health and beauty. Hair could be adorned with beads, feathers, or animal teeth, adding to a woman's attractiveness. Skin tone and cleanliness were also valued, though standards varied by region. In some ancient societies, pale skin was preferred, possibly because it signaled a life of ease and protection from the sun. In others, a golden tan or reddish-brown skin was admired, showing time spent outdoors and good health. Cleanliness, too, was important. Archaeological and ethnographic evidence suggests that Stone Age people bathed in rivers or lakes, used fibrous plants to clean their teeth, and took pride in personal hygiene. The role of skills and personality. While the physical traits celebrated in art and adornment are clear, what about the deeper qualities that Stone Age men valued? Anthropological studies of modern hunter-gatherer societies can offer clues. In these groups, men often look for signs of health, strength, and resilience in women. A partner who can gather food, care for children, and survive hardship is highly prized. Beauty in this context is not just about looks, it's about capability and reliability. Women's skills were a major part of their attractiveness. In Stone Age societies, women were gatherers, healers, toolmakers, and teachers. A woman who could identify hundreds of edible plants, craft baskets, make clothing, and care for wounds was invaluable. These skills were not only essential for survival but also attractive to men seeking a reliable partner. Women demonstrated their abilities through their work, their knowledge, and their role in the community. Social skills and personality were also part of attractiveness. In small Stone Age bands, cooperation and harmony were essential. A woman who was friendly, skilled at gathering or making tools, or who could teach children and maintain peace, would have been valued, even if her looks did not match the ideal. Marriage and mating were not just about passion, They were about building alliances, sharing resources, and ensuring the survival of the group. Status and reputation mattered too. Women who came from respected families, who had valuable skills or knowledge, or who owned prized ornaments, could be seen as more desirable. In some societies, women with special roles, such as healers, storytellers, or shamans, were especially admired, regardless of their physical appearance. Seduction, more than just looks. Stone Age women did not rely solely on their bodies to attract men. They used their skills, intelligence, and social abilities to seduce and maintain relationships. A woman who could tell captivating stories, sing, dance, or create beautiful art was seen as desirable. Music and dance were important parts of Stone Age life, used in rituals, celebrations, and courtship. Women also used their knowledge of plants and herbs to create perfumes or ointments, enhancing their natural scent and appeal. Some may have used natural dyes to color their lips or cheeks, or to create striking patterns on their skin. These acts of self-expression were ways to stand out, signal fertility or health, and attract attention. In some cases, women's seduction skills were about building alliances and networks. By forming relationships with men from other groups, women helped create connections that benefited their families and communities. These relationships were not always permanent. Stone Age societies often practiced flexible mating arrangements, with partnerships forming and dissolving as circumstances changed. Avoiding inbreeding and forming alliances. Stone Age people understood the dangers of inbreeding and developed sophisticated social networks to avoid it. Genetic studies of ancient remains show that people deliberately sought partners beyond their immediate family, often traveling long distances or participating in exchange networks to find mates. These networks were supported by rituals, ceremonies, and the exchange of gifts, foreshadowing modern marriage customs. Women played a key role in these networks. By marrying or forming relationships with men from other groups, they helped create alliances, share resources, and maintain peace. These connections were essential for survival, especially in times of scarcity or conflict. The ability to form and maintain social bonds was a valued skill, and women who excelled at it were considered attractive partners. The evolution of beauty and sexuality. Stone Age beauty standards were shaped by evolution, environment, and culture. The traits that men found attractive, fertility, health, skill, and social ability, were those that increased the chances of survival and successful reproduction. Over time, these preferences became embedded in art, ritual, and daily life. Prominent features like breasts and hips were not just symbols of fertility, but also practical indicators of a woman's ability to bear and nurture children. Adornment, cleanliness, and self-expression signaled health, creativity, and social status. Skills in gathering, healing, or storytelling demonstrated a woman's value to the group. Sexuality was celebrated, not hidden. Men and women both sought pleasure, connection, and meaning through their relationships. The flexibility of Stone Age mating systems allowed for a wide range of arrangements, from lifelong partnerships to temporary liaisons. What mattered most was the ability to contribute to the group, form alliances, and ensure the survival of the next generation. What did Stone Age men actually want? If we could ask a Stone Age man what he found beautiful, he might not talk about cheekbones or waistlines. Instead, he would point to the woman who could feed a family, survive a winter, and bring new life into the world. To him, beauty was not just a look, it was a promise of life, strength, and the future. Stone Age men were drawn to women who showed clear signs of fertility, health, and the ability to survive. Large breasts, wide hips, and full bellies were not just attractive, they were vital signals in a world where every child mattered. Adornment, cleanliness, and personal expression added to a woman's appeal, while skills, personality, and social status played crucial roles. Beauty was not just in the eye of the beholder, but in the needs of the group and the demands of the environment. Women seduced men with more than just their bodies. Their skills, intelligence, creativity, and ability to build relationships were equally important. They used music, dance, storytelling, and art to attract attention, signal their value, and form lasting bonds. The most desirable women were those who could contribute to the survival and success of the group, not just those who matched an idealized physical form. The legacy of Stone Age beauty. Today, our standards of beauty are shaped by media, fashion, and technology, but the roots of what we find attractive go back to the Stone Age. The desire for health, fertility, and social harmony is as old as humanity itself. The next time you see a modern beauty trend, remember that the first standards of beauty were carved in stone, painted on cave walls, and worn as beads around the necks of our ancient ancestors. Stone Age beauty standards remind us that what is considered attractive is always changing, shaped by culture, environment, and the needs of society. But some things never change: the search for health, the hope for abundance, and the desire to belong. The legacy of Stone Age beauty is all around us, in the art we create, the relationships we form, and the values we pass on to future generations. If we look past the stereotypes, we see that Stone Age men and women were not so different from us. They sought love, connection, and meaning in their lives. Their beauty standards were rooted in the realities of survival, but also in the joys of creativity, expression, and community.